There's a great website, www.floridaboxinghalloffame.com. We invite you to visit it and make plans for 2012. Our next inductee is a multi-talented individual who made the betterment of his sport and sports in general his mission in life. A native of South Florida, he actually took up professional boxing in 1989, fighting as a heavyweight. In 1995, he was part of a main event in my hometown of Punta Gorda, Florida. It was standing room only as he took on Hurricane Peter McNeely. You may remember he fought Mike Tyson when Tyson went back to fighting, and he was even in a famous Pizza Hut commercial. Well, the two of them went at it at the first bell, and even though McNeely won in the first round, it was one of the most entertaining one-round bouts you could ever see. It was put on by our good friend Steve Canton back in those days, and we had a great time with that. But he moved on, stepped out of boxing in 2000 after 23 pro bouts. That's just the beginning of his story. He's an orthopedic surgeon who has spent years in the field of sports medicine. His honors include the Irish Emerald Society Humanitarian of the Year Award, the 2002 Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies Honorary Mr. Mom Award, and is the recipient of the Florida Medical Association's 2002 Harold Strasser MD Good Samaritan Award. He received a certificate of appreciation from the Board of County Commissioners in recognition of his work in the community. In 2002, he was inducted into the Broward County Sports Hall of Fame. Maybe not heavyweight champ, but a champ in his community and state, as well as a credit to the sport that he loves and represents. It's my honor to welcome to the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame class of 2011, Dr. Harold "Hacky" Reitman. Unfortunately, due to a medical condition, non-life-threatening, by the way, Hacky is unable to be with us, but accepting on his behalf is his good friend and fellow inductee, Mr. Tommy Torino.
I had dinner with Hacky Friday night before we came up here, and he just had his second hip replacement. Pretty cool considering he's an orthopedic surgeon. And of course, Dr. Fields gave him the clearance to come up, but Dr. Fields would. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it, but he wanted me to thank everybody. I'm not going to be long-winded, but I just want to say something on Dr. Reitman's behalf. It was a while back that I needed knee surgery, and my doctor, as luck would have it, was in a litigation malpractice suit of some sort. I have no idea what it was. But he couldn't do the surgery. So he said, you know what? He said, there's a doctor in Plantation. He said, you probably know him. He works out at the Fifth Street Gym once in a while. He said, he's a great surgeon. He said, I'll send you over there. Okay, great. He said, you'll recognize him when you see him. Well, I went over to his office, and sure enough, when he walked into the room, we shook hands. He identified himself. I said, I do remember you. I saw you at the gym hitting the bag once in a while. And he goes, very much the consummate professional. He said, when this is all done and we get your knee fixed, I'm going to ask you a favor. Well, what's that, Doc? And he said, well, we won't talk about it now. We're going to get your knee fixed first. He said, but once it's done, I'm going to ask you a favor. Okay. Just get my knee fixed, you know. But anyway, he did, and I remember waking up from the surgery, and I don't think I was up more than 20 minutes, and Hacky, we call him Hacky, was leaning over me, and he said, listen, your knee surgery came out fine. We just took a little cartilage brittle out of there, and you're going to be fine, little physical therapy. He said, now, for the important thing, he said, I want to come to the gym, and I want to start working out. And I said, well, of course you can, Doc. It's 240 pounds at the time, 37 years old. And I said, of course, anytime you want to come to the gym, you're welcome. Did I know what I was getting myself into? And he came to the gym, and he started losing the weight. And between other boxers and stuff, I was training some boxers at the time, and you know, I'd give him a little bit of time, which he appreciated every second. And he said something that let me know, first of all, it was the first boxer that I ever met that was so much more intelligent than me, and I'd never been in that position before. But we're in the gym, and this gives you an idea of how smart he is. I referred to him as Dr. Reitman. In my family, a middle-class Italian family growing up, doctors were next to God. And I shouldn't have said that because Dr. Fields is here, and you know, you don't have to say that to Dr. Fields too often. He'll agree 100%. But anyway, I always referred to him as Dr. Reitman. Well, this is how smart he is. He pulls me off to the side in the gym one day, And he says, Tommy, do me a favor. He said, when we're in the gym, just call me Hacky. Okay. And he said, when I'm in the office and you come to see me as a patient, I've earned the right and the respect of being called doctor. But when I'm in the gym, he said, I'm just Hacky. I'm looking to you to learn. I'm looking to you for guidance. I'm looking to you to teach me this sport. He said, and by you calling me doctor, you're putting me in a higher level. I don't want that. I just want to be treated like everybody else. Told me something about him. Told me something about him as a man, and it told me something about him as far as his intelligence level. It was a brilliant, brilliant move on his part. Well, time went on, and this 240, 50-pound smoker got down in weight, got a little bit better, to the point where my good friend Al Banani was running fights over in Miami, and I came up with an idea. Dr. Reitman had been in the gym about a year at this point, and he wanted a fight. And he was too old to be an amateur. And he, I didn't want him to become a professional boxer. I mean, he's an orthopedic surgeon. He has a family, and boxing is very dangerous, as we all know. No need for him to do that. But he wanted to do it. He had this burning desire to box. And he was willing to pay the price. And he did pay the price. He would run every morning. He'd work out in the gym. We worked out sometimes 11 o'clock at night after his surgeries. Never had another fighter I had to train him at night because he had surgery during the day. It was ridiculous. But anyway, make a long story short, he went on to have 27 fights and actually fight for a junior, I'll call it a junior world championship. And to this day, he's one of my dearest friends, like Dr. Fields and a lot of others. He's more like family than he is a friend. But if anyone wanted their child to look up to an athlete and say, I want to be like him, it would be Dr. Reitman. I would want my own son to want to be like Dr. Reitman. He was a man who was willing to pay the price, and trust me, there was a ton of naysayers out there. The guy's 100 years old. He's an orthopedic surgeon. He's wealthy. All these reasons, they all made sense. They were all true. The guy was 100 years old in boxing terms. He was wealthy. He was an orthopedic surgeon. He did run the risk of hurting his hands and ruining his orthopedic career. But like he always said, if he's willing to pay the price, why would he let anybody else tell him he can't do it? And like Mr. Yerd said very, very accurately, everybody should have the opportunity to do what they want to do if they're willing to pay the price. That's the Hacky Reitman story. Thank you for your attention. Bye-bye.